Welcome to Chapter 1 for MKT 4520 Marketing Research. Look forward to being with you this term, and let's begin. Chapter 1 is about marketing research for managerial decision making. When we think about marketing research, it's really this function that links the organization to its market and is done through information. So there's a number of steps that go into this. So it's a process, and it's an ongoing process. Justin Stead had been VP of International Operations at Fossil Watch, based in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He says that as a user of marketing research, he can gain so much knowledge that he can push hard in his studies and really be confident that he's understanding what the customers are saying. So it allows him to be a more effective marketer. There was a time when I did a research project for Justin at Fossil Watch and wound up using what we call the American style of presenting. We wanted to really put the bottom line first. So we had done a research project on brand personality for Fossil Watch, spoke to dozens of Fossil users, and in qualitative research, at the end of the project, you're just full of information about that topic. So to trigger recall, or just to understand this, what we could share about the study, we wanted to do it in a visual form. So just went to the website entertainment.com, started fanning through celebrity photos, and we saw these brothers, Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson, on the right. And we really brought it down to this, that when we stood in front of the advertising director for Fossil Watch, we said, we've done a lot of work, but we really think it comes down to this. This image represents what your users are saying about the brand personality of Fossil Watch. We really didn't know how the ad director would respond, but his first response was, "That's Austin cool." And so we asked, well, tell us more about Austin cool. He said, in Austin, Texas, there are a lot of working class bars that have been taken over by 20-somethings, and that's where pools played and people dressed like this, as you see Luke Wilson here. The denim, kind of the hips cocked, maybe a slouch, but kind of exuding some quiet confidence. We looked later, in about 6 months, what the catalog looked like for Fossil Watch. And for the men, this was the image that was predominant. And I think you can see the similarity between what Fossil used and what we had presented as a result of our research. So we took a lot away from that, and it was a big win for Fossil Watch. So you might ask, why do people use marketing research? Well, the number one reason is that it's about competition. So business people want to gain an advantage, don't want to waste time, money, and effort. And so marketing research will help them be better and more effective in the marketplace. And so competition drives that. So it's not, they want to do it just to be doing research. They really have a purpose in it. So when we look at marketing research, kind of two streams of projects that we can do: problem identification research here on the left, which is market potential research, market share research, image research. And over on the right, problem-solving research, segmentation research, understanding the different segments of customers for a product or service. And then research that aligns with each of the 4 Ps: product, pricing, promotion, and distribution. Marketing theory allows us to generalize across different situations, conditions, and even different brands. So that's the value of theoretical explanations. When we look at this brand, Solivare, it had been just producing and manufacturing boots and shoes for other brands, but then it became its own brand about 20 years ago. And now it has these Solivare boots that look like Doc Marten boots, but they're actually extremely well made, and they don't have the opportunity to scale. It's really a very people-intensive work process here, but it does bring to mind what could be done in terms of research to help this brand move forward. You might want to think about that now as you think about uh, our chapter here in managerial decision making. Okay, the marketing research industry, it continues to grow. Customer satisfaction studies have been a driving force for this. Also, scanning systems that are at point of sale and retail outlets. They're connected to inventory systems and ordering systems for the supply chain for these retailers like Walmart. And those allow researchers understanding of seasonality of inventory flows, also times of the day that products are purchased, and just whether they're growing or declining within the retailer system. Database development for long-term brand management is another reason the marketing research industry is growing. And then finally, international research. It just makes more sense for these global corporations to conduct research not only in their home country, but also in the distant countries that they're going to pursue their customers and their profit-making endeavors. For those that work in the research industry, communication skills are important. Also, interpersonal skills. The work is very people intensive, and so you're questioning others, you're working with others, scheduling with others. So it really requires people that want to see personal relationships work. And then finally, statistical skills. The marketing research industry really has two realms. The client side, so these are researchers that work for companies like Walmart or Procter and Gamble, and so they are interacting with their leadership teams within their company. And then you have the research agency side. So these are outside these companies that are marketing goods and services, but they sell marketing research services to the client side researchers. And both realms would be very attractive for you to, launch your career in the marketing research field. Although I would recommend the agency side first, because then you will really get grounded on a variety of projects and timelines for getting those completed, what's needed to make successful projects before you would migrate over to the client side and work in a specific industry. In the research industry, we got research suppliers who are internal, the client side, and then you have the external ones. You have full service firms. These can be syndicated services, customized service companies, or even standardized services. The standardized services companies might have a set way to measure customer satisfaction, and that's what they would sell to you if your firm wanted to have that way of understanding customer satisfaction for your brands. Then over on the limited service, these companies are more narrowly focused. They're doing data collection in the field, coding and data entry, analyzing data, and then finally other services that would come up. So a lot of times the full service companies, let's say a customized service company, would draw on these limited service companies to build out research projects and complete them successfully. I worked at a company called SDR Incorporated in Atlanta, Georgia, and I did that for 2 years after I received my PhD. I was hired to do SPSS programming. That's a statistical software program. But after a few weeks there, people started to part, and I was asked if I could take over their projects. And I did that and moved up quickly to become what's called a methods consultant or statistical quantitative analyst. I worked in a cross-functional team in that role. We had to log our hours, and so my time was allocated 1/3 to statistical work, 1/3 to sales, and 1/3 to actually team governance, deciding whether we would hire a new person or buy a computer or just working on the flows of data and spreadsheets to complete projects. As a quantitative analyst for the agency, it was a smart world. Even the lowest level employee wanted to have a voicemail that was very much to the point and done in a smart way. And that just permeated all the work that was done throughout the week. It was intense, so there were deadlines to meet, and so there were things to focus on and get done. The clients that we worked with were across service industries a lot. They were electric utility companies that are now deregulated. They're understanding their customers now. Financial institutions like banks, for example, they were coming to understand their customers in a new way. And so then there were some consulting firms that we worked with, and we were consultants to these consultants. It was fun, and it was a lively pace of work, and the people were uh, uh, powerful contributors. So it was rewarding to be in that environment. I had the privilege to brief leaders in business who have gone on to do amazing things. One of them is Art Levinson. I briefed him when he was CEO of Genentech, which is a pharmaceutical company. And now he has been chairman of the Apple board for years. I taught in Dallas-Fort Worth for 11 years at the University of Texas at Arlington. We had a Master's of Science in Marketing Research program. And if you're curious about that, there's life beyond our course in marketing research, and you could become well-grounded in marketing research methods and concepts by going to a place like this. And they do place people well in the marketing research industry. Now, with regards to stakeholders in marketing research, these four stakeholders, clients, respondents, marketing research professionals, and the public, those are the four groups of stakeholders involved in marketing research. For each one of these groups, there can be lapses in integrity. And so, for example, these ethical issues arise when a research agency won't divulge how they actually present answers for how they do their work. So they just present as a black box. So that doesn't allow, I guess, accountability for their customers to check and see whether things are being done correctly. Data collectors could curbstone. That is a term that means that basically those that are responsible for bringing back collected and completed surveys, they just do them themselves. Probably the primary reason that happens is that those data collection people in the field are giving unreasonable deadlines for completing their work. And so the deadlines have to be allocated in ways that the workers can actually do the work and do it right and do it well. Respondents, they can take a survey and just straight line answer yes to everything or give one numerical value on all the scales. And so they speed through the survey. They're not really engaged. They're not properly responding. Non-researchers, SUG, that's selling under the guise of marketing. They're really trying to sell things instead of doing marketing research. And then they can frug, which is frugging fundraising under the guise of marketing research. So you might have received a piece of junk mail where they're asking your opinions about things, and even it looks like a survey, but in the end, they want you to make a donation to their organization. Both political parties do this still, and we just have to be watchful as consumers out there. And then finally, client firms can issue false proposals. They don't intend to hire any research agency to help them in their work, but they want to get all the ideas from these research agencies as they go through their bids. So that's a lapse in integrity and problematic. The AMA, the American Marketing Association, has a marketing research code of ethics, and it's calling researchers to conform to all laws, respect the rights of respondents, ensure the work is accurate and done right, and then that the researchers will conform to the principles of fair competition. So it sounds like Dudley Do Right, trying to do things right all the time. And they do need to do this, and it is challenging. It means you have to be very disciplined in your work. And so you can do things in a timely way and do them in an ethical and correct way. If I was to return to the marketing research industry and I worked at a client firm, or even if I worked at a research agency, the first day I was there, I would go and invite the accountants to join me for lunch. I would buy them lunch. Why would I do that? The reason I would do that is accountants care about information integrity, data integrity, and their whole livelihood depends on it being done correctly, not fudging the numbers. And so I want to be associated in the firm from the first day with those that care about information integrity. And so it's once it's lost, it can't be regained. And so your reputation is extremely important, and it really uh, comes down to a commitment you have to do things according to that code of ethics for the AMA and do them right and admit when you can't do them right so the project can wait to be completed until it is done right. There are 5 trends for the marketing research industry in recent years. Secondary data use is a big one. Also, technology-related data management. The computer power is going up here. We have digital technology that has been in use here, as well as with social media and the internet. Broader international client base, and then finally moving beyond data analysis to data interpretation. So that means that a knowledge of the context of the studies and what the brand is positioned in the marketplace to make the proper data interpretations. And that's done by human beings. Also, there's this emerging trend of marketing analytics. So more statistics, mathematics, technology is being applied. We're at the dawn of the artificial intelligence age. We'll have more to say about that in our course as we go on here. That's all part of this move toward marketing analytics. There's a study I'm currently part of, and it's have been for years, but it comes around every couple of years because we have a budget that is done in Wyoming every 2 years. And so it's about how citizens in the state of Wyoming feel about different dimensions of the budget that's being considered by the Wyoming State Legislature. So we're doing that now. We'll keep you posted on that as things unfold here, but it is important, and uh, major amounts of money are in play, and major amounts of money might be cut from the budget as well. So we're trying to derive importances like these for the different dimensions of the state budget. How important is property and sales taxes to citizens, K through 12, education funding, state agency budgets, and on, as you see here. And so you can then understand that the rainy day fund over there on the right side, not as important as the others. It's basically squirreling away money for a time when Wyoming as a state might be in a difficult situation, so we can pay the bills without stopping government operations. And we come to our Superman slide here. That's the shield we're trying to earn here as marketing researchers. And we thank you for your attention today.